Trickstar Bella Madonna, a card that until about a week ago held the hopes of an entire archetype, and then completely flopped on release. Yeah, as it turns out, building a deck around a boss monster that 1. Counters its own hand trap, 2. Requires a use of a skill to be able to move it around the field so you just don't have a skill to use, and 3. Gets completely destroyed by an overgrown lizard wasn't exactly the greatest idea. But thankfully, Konami were a little bit sneaky with this latest box. As it turns out, when we got the leaks last week, Konami didn't actually leak all the cards in the box, so all the hype around Trickstar was based around one big boss monster, when it turns out, there's a much better card for the archetype in this box. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you're enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, as apparently about 50% of the people watching this are even subscribed to the channel, yet all of you are returning viewers who have seen my content before. So if you find yourself keep coming back to the channel and want to see more content just like this in the future, remember to hit that like button down below and consider subscribing. Also, I do plan to make a bunch more videos on Duel Links this month, especially considering there's a selection pack and a structure deck predicted to be released soon, so once they come out, I'll be making videos on those cards, so if any of that interests you, remember to leave a like on the video and consider subscribing. Alright, so what is new about this deck list? Well, we've just been given Trickstar Festival, a card that is insane for this deck. Special summon 2 Trickstar tokens. If a Trickstar monster you control that was special summoned from the extra deck would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead, with the only downside to this card being, you cannot normal or special summon monsters when you activate this card, except Trickstar monsters, which doesn't really matter in a Trickstar deck. So the reason this card is so damn good is, first of all, this archetype has a shit ton of Link 2s. We have Diva, which is your card that makes your opponent take burn damage when they try to special summon. We have, of course, your Trickstar Holy Angel, which is the pseudo boss monster for the deck list, as it just gains a shit ton of attack. And we have the most important card for this particular deck list, Trickstar Crimson Heart. This card in this particular list is bonkers. For those of you that saw my last Trickstar video, you'll know my last time I played this deck, I built it entirely around this particular card because I thought the amount of value you could generate from it was just really damn good. And I found a way to generate even more value. So for those of you that have never actually read Crimson Heart, this card is pretty simple. Each time a Trickstar monster is normal or special summoned to a zone it points to, you gain 200 life points. You can discard one Trickstar card, both players draw one card, but if your life points was at least 2,000 higher than your opponent, you draw 2 cards instead. So last time I played this, I was using Fairy Smile, which gave you 1,000 life points a turn and was very damn slow. It would eventually get you over the 2,000 limit, but it was just way too damn slow. Turns out, after I made the Goki video yesterday, there's this skill called 3 Effects that I didn't know about until yesterday. This skill basically just targets Link monster and gains life points equal to its attack. Turns out this card has 2,000 attack. That's just plus 2,000 life points on turn 1, meaning your skill will just instantly make this card active on its first turn. Meaning you can just draw a shit ton of cards every single turn, generating an absolute butt ton of value in a deck list that's built around trap cards, where value is everything. The other cool thing about this card is it actually combos exceptionally well with Trickstar Festival, not just because Festival can summon it really easily, but because if you happen to draw 2 Festival, or you can actually search for this card, putting it in the graveyard as your discard for Crimson Heart is really good, because like I mentioned earlier, this card can be banished from your graveyard to protect your field from destruction effects. So if your opponent is playing something like Dark Hole, which is actually really popular right now, you just won't care, you'll completely ignore it, and that goes for any destruction effect that's trying to target one of your extra deck monsters. Also including your own trap cards, such as Needle Sealing. So I was trying to play this deck list earlier and was struggling a shit ton with it. I was just really struggling to get wins. Until I realized, why don't I just play Needle Sealing, which is a complete board nuke that I'm protected from thanks to my new spell card. And since then, I literally went undefeated with it, just won 10 games in a row, and as you'll see in the gameplay, this card is insanely impactful. There are a lot of decks that are flooding right now, and this deck can easily get 2 monsters on the field, and if you have 2 monsters on the field, that means if your opponent tries to go for any Xyz, Synchro plays, or anything that requires 2 monsters, you'll just board wipe them. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the talking part of this deck list, and without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, so as you can see, this deck list had a 100% win rate out of the 10 games I played. I won every single one of them. Yes, this is only in Platinum, but we're also only on the second day of the month, so most of these players, if not all of them, were Legend or King of Games last month anyway, and just got reset, so this is easily a King of Games worthy deck. It's really damn good. Now, I did play a few other games before this, like I mentioned during the decklist portion, that were a bunch of losses and were really struggling, until I added the Needle Ceiling. So if you don't own Needle Ceiling, I think this decklist will struggle a lot more, as this combo is just way too damn good not to run it. It feels just so damn good. Alright, let's get into the actual replays now. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward a few of these replays because I'm actually going to be showing you a 9 today, which is an absurd amount compared to my normal videos, but I kind of wanted to show off all these replays as I felt all of them were just really good or showed off something I wanted to particularly show off in the video, so I'll try to sort of speed run a few of them, but the early ones I think I'll go through fairly slowly just so you can get a good understanding of how the deck works before I sort of speed run the other ones. Alright, I think the first few replays were also not as great as the last two, which were actually really damn good, so anyway. Alright, so we're up against a 6 Samurai player who starts off with a negate, which is pretty damn annoying. So first thing I do is I summon my monster, add a card to hand, and I know 6 Samurai is known for dual wield, so if I summon another monster to the field or set any cards, he can then dual wield me and I'll lose my entire field, so instead I'm just going to swing into him. Corobane to beat over it, he has World Legacy Clash to defend himself, and now I'm kind of a bit sad. But I can now test for dual wield. I can summon this card to the field, return Candina to hand, and if you can still activate a card effect, I know he hasn't got dual wield, because that requires 6 Samurai on field. He had got a prompt here, so I know he hasn't got it, so I can have that information for next turn. Not bad. Alright, so now I can just flood the field and hope that he didn't draw into it. Alright, set 3. He Book of Moons me, but before I swing in, worried about Corobane, of course. Activates this card to summon 2 to the field. I'm going to activate Crackdown to target his monster to get the negate out. Then I can activate my Needle Ceiling and nuke his field. Fuma summons a dude, he summons another dude. He thinks that Fuma can target face downs. Good try, buddy. Returns his own monster, but I can special summon myself anyway. And thankfully, he can't quite lethal me, so now I'm in a really good position. Festival, summon 2. Link summon out Heart. Summon to its zone, gaining some life points. Adding a Lycoris, gaining a bunch of life points from my skill in a second. Apparently swapping over first. Yeah, and we just have lethal on field here. So I think we can fast forward the rest of this. Swinging in, Corobane, he's dead. Alright, on to replay number 2. It's actually a really banger of a deck list. I'm pretty excited to show you guys. Upload the video anyway. It's rare that I make a community post before a video goes live to hype up a video, but I think a lot of people will enjoy this one. This is a really good deck list. Pretty proud of this one. Also, I noticed a lot of people aren't playing Needle Ceiling and no one's playing this skill, so I feel like it's a pretty unique video too. At least I haven't seen anyone playing Needle Ceiling or the this skill with the deck. Alright, so this guy was playing Magical Musket. This was a fun duel. Summon my Candina. He activates a card to destroy it. Not sure why you do that. Lycoris, swap it over. Bottomless Trap Holes tries to target it. I could activate my other card in hand, because it turns out these cards aren't once per turn. So both are going to target my Candina, and both are going to summon to the field. And he just wasted 2 back row, and I think he concedes instantly. Yeah, so I just want to quickly show that replay because I thought it was pretty funny. And a lot of people don't realise this card isn't even once per turn, so yeah, pretty banger replay that one. Alright, on to Mr. Hello over here. Oh, this guy's been king of games for the last 20 trillion months in a row. Oh no. Not a king of games player. Alright. So he's playing some trains. Past his first turn, very sus. I add my Trickstar Festival to hand. We're using it, getting my 2 dudes out, getting hold of my card, drawing some, sorry, Link summoning first. Activating my skill at some point, there we go. Unfortunately though, didn't actually have a Trickstar card in hand to discard. I could have had one, but I wanted to leave enough cards on field to make sure he has to use whatever Kite Roid or whatever he's got in hand, because I need lethal on field. I might be able to play this in a different way that did let me to draw 2 cards, but it didn't matter too much anyway. I have Trill back row already anyway, so it's whatever. I'm not too worried. I also could have done it in a different order where I didn't gain life points, I could gain more attack on Holly, but I don't think it really mattered too much. MST is one of the back row. But we don't care too much because we've got Needle Sealing. Nuking his field entirely, protecting my own, and he concedes right away. Just look at how good Needle Sealing is in this deck list. It's so damn good. There's a reason that when, after Salamangreat got nerfed, they all switched to Needle Sealing and it felt really good. This deck list is exactly the same, well, except without the nerfs. It just feels really good with Needle Sealing. Just put it in here now, we've got this brand new card. It's so good. Alright, Devil Angel. Alright. This guy, oh yeah, it's probably one of the weaker replays, honestly. But I wanted to show it anyway, because it was still a pretty good one. So he summons this card, which obviously doesn't do a whole lot, but he does have 2 back row to play through. So Festival's putting 2. Summon Crimson Heart. Gain some life points, go to use its effect. He now tries to activate Fiendish Chain. Thankfully, he's already used the, I've already gotten to use its effect, so I can swap it over, dodging the Fiendish Chain's negate, and still getting the draw too. And summon Candina, he activates another Fiendish Chain. I don't know why you particularly do this, I'm going to link summon anyway, but I guess it stopped me searching, which is pretty important. Either way, set 2, pass. Crackdown stealing his big monster so he can't nuke my field. Tries to summon another card. Wait for him to do his normal summon, because if you guys don't know how Black Whirlwind works, when they do a normal summon, they get a search. But if you remove the card they're normal summoning when it's trying to use its search, it will just completely stop its effect going off, so... Use my Bottomless, get rid of it, and he gets no search. And from there, he's just, yeah, he's dead. Dead on field. I think I BM'd a little bit here for the lols, but he's very dead. Alright. On to the next one. Lava Golem. Definitely not a burn deck. I actually don't think he was playing a burn deck. Just had Lava Golem as a name. Alright. Oh, this was the tri-mid play. He didn't actually play any tri-mids. He just said a bunch of back row, I'm pretty sure. So I think this was just me playing through back row, I think. Well, kind of playing through back row. I think he was just bad, but anyway. Normal summon my monster. For some reason he decides to Book of Moon this one. I don't know why you'd do that. Lycoris, swap it over. I guess he was going to try to do it before I add this card to hand, maybe? But then he tries to Book of Moon this one as well, so... I really don't know why you'd do that. Either way, Festival. I guess to be fair, I'm a Link deck anyway, so... it's not like Book of Moon's that great into me. Gain some life points, draw some extra cards, set 3. Making sure to set the 2 Festivals as bait, because I want them in graveyard anyway. And he has MST. Activate Dark Hole, I protect it with Festival, and he concedes instantly. Yes, the only reason I showed this replay is because I wanted to show me getting protected from Dark Hole, which is a pretty common card nowadays. Turns out that card is pretty good. Not too good into this deck or into Salad, but to a lot of decks it's alright. Alright. Who's this? What was this fella playing? I don't think he was playing Hero. Might have been. There is one Hero replay in here, I remember. Alright. So Festival, summoning 2, going to this card for next turn. Unfortunately had no card in hand to discard, but at least we got 3 trap cards, so we're not too threatened anyway. It's not like we had to draw into any. Oh, he's playing the Orcus deck. So he tries to summon Recycler, I'm just going to use Warning Point on that card. I'm not too sure about Warning Point in this particular deck list. I think I prefer a removal, but it wasn't too bad. I definitely, by the way, if you don't have Crackdown, well, I actually prefer not to use Crackdown. You should be using that other new trap card that returns cards to hand. I forgot the name of it. Divine something, or whatever the hell it's called. You know the trap card, the ones in the selection box that returns cards to hand. I don't own that card. I think it's much better than Crackdown, so you should probably be using that one. Especially in this deck list, because of your Festival locks you to only summoning Trickstar monsters, and all your Trickstar monsters require Trickstars as a material. It means you can't crack down their monster, then use it as link material, which would be pretty good. But this card sort of stops you doing that, so it's not the greatest, but it's also not terrible. I prefer to use Crackdown over any other trap card that isn't that one, because I need a sort of 1-for-1 removal. That's why I'm not using Karma card. I didn't want to have to discard cards. Either way, I just kind of rambled a bit there. Doesn't really matter. Whatever trap cards you got, it'll be fine. Alright. Crimson Heart getting some life points. Candina searching for another festival. Draw 2, go to swing in. He goes for a Link Summon into a Phoenix. Phoenix discard, remove 1 back row. I don't care too much. I can just Bottomless this card. And from here, I can set up which is basically lethal. Because now, because we have Candina on field, he can't use any spell cards without burning himself to death. Or trap cards. And we have 6,000 life points. We got a Corobane, and we still have a Needle Ceiling. He was giga screwed. Alright. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm doing a lot of replays today. Shouldn't be too long, so I'm sort of speeding through these. Alright, so this must be the hero player, because I know there was one. It's also a rank up game. Alright. Gonna summon my Mandina, search for my festival. Summon my 2, you've seen this all before. Go into my dude, 3 effects, gain life points, draw 2, set 3 and pass. MST is 1, we don't care. Faris. Oh yeah, this guy, I don't know what he was doing. He didn't like, this is like full combo for heroes, but he sort of just, I don't know what was going on. Anyway, Vion sends this card. For some reason chooses to banish Malicious, which is like, I'm not even gonna try to just explain that. Adds Poly. Poly's his field. And I assume he had Mask Change in hand. I'm pretty sure he did. He just didn't really understand that, yeah, how this deck works. So in damage step, I just activate Corobane, destroys monster, and he concedes instantly. I assume he had Mask Change in hand, but yeah, definitely some sus gameplay from that dude. Not exactly the greatest. Alright. Salad. This was the Salad matchup. This is a pretty good gameplay. Not the greatest, because he didn't have an optimal starting hand. Because he only had, he didn't get a hold of, not Jaguar. Whatever the main card is, I forget the name of it. The main card that's limited to 1. Alright, Foxy, gonna be searching the top 3. Not the ideal normal summon for the deck. He definitely wanted the, Lady Debug. Link summoned into a Balinx. Summons his power from hand. Link 2. Sets his card and passes. Candina activates Bottomless on it. This is completely fine because Bottomless isn't a negate, so I still get to search Festival. Festival, make my 2 tokens, summon out my dude, gain some life points. Draw 2. Special summon. Set 2, swing in. MST is 1 of the back row, which is fine. Keep in mind, by the way, this card, it can only use 1 of its effects per turn, so I special summoned it to the field, means I can't use the hand trap part of it, which is why I couldn't have gone for 4,000 damage, summon Lycoris, beat him for a bit more for lethal. I still summoned the Lycoris anyway, but yeah, that's why I couldn't do like a billion more damage to him here. Alright. So finally adds the Gazelle, that's the name of the card, which we have a nice card waiting for it. Gonna use my Crackdown, yoinking his monster to try and make sure he can't summon his Gazelle out. Unfortunately, he actually had Foxy in Graveyard, which I completely overlooked, but I kind of know what cards he's got in his hand, because he summoned his Balinx last turn and he didn't grab his field spell, or if he did, he didn't place it, so I know, where's that field spell at? It's probably in his hand, so I know his hand right now is the field spell and the other card, meaning if I use Crackdown anyway, he has to discard. If he does do his discard, he's only got 1 card left in his hand, which is the field spell. So he forces him to discard the Gazelle anyway. But yeah, I missed this card anyway. I'm just trying to act smart there. But it turns out that was actually the correct play to do Crackdown anyway, because like I said, it forces him to discard Gazelle if he wants to continue playing. Link sums out Sunlight Wolf. He can't do anything here. I've got double Corobane in hand, so I'm safe from any wave. Any time he tries to swing in, he's losing his monster and losing the game. Sunlight Wolf tries to swing in. Oh, come on, get to it, come on. Tries to swing in. Protects himself with Balinx, but yeah, he's just dead. Alright. Final replay versus Queen of... Why? Why is that your name? Whatever. Alright. 9-game win streak. Here was the 10th game win streak. Palms were sweating. I need that 100% win rate title, baby. Come on. Alright. Need the title for my video. Trickstar Festival, summon the 2 tokens. Think summon out Crimson Heart. Gain some life points. Discard, draw 2, set a bunch, and Lycoris add back to hand. Now, you could have waited on the Lycoris to my opponent's turn to see if he wanted to target something for removal, then I could have swapped it over, but in this case, I wanted to make sure my Needle Sealing was basically always active, so I always wanted 2 cards in the field, and I wanted to be able to use them instantly. No playing around, so I just added this card back to hand, made sure that yeah, because I always wanted this card back in hand. I didn't want to use Needle Sealing with this card on the field, obviously, so yeah, I just didn't want to do any of that, just didn't want to play around. I know I could sort of chain in response to Needle Sealing and stuff, but it's fine. I just didn't want to mess around. I was just playing. Yeah. This is the 10-game win streak game. All right, we're not messing around. All right, use my Bottomless on his card. He swaps it over. Doesn't really do a whole lot for him though, so I'm not really too concerned. He's burning a bunch here actually. Wait for him to summon 2 cards. Needle Sealing. Nuke his field. Do lose our monster though, but that's completely fine. So he has a completely empty field, and I'm just going to lethal in here. Yeah, and you can see it's instantly. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. I know I certainly did. So if you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Remember I have Selection Box and Structure Deck and Anniversary content coming out whenever they release over the upcoming days, so or week, whenever Konami decides to release them. So yeah, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.